Welcome to An Author Dissects a Narrative with your host, Husna Haze. In this captivating series, we will unravel the intricate tapestries of your favorite movies, TV shows, games, books, and beyond. Prepare to embark on a journey of analysis and exploration as we uncover the hidden gems and profound themes within these beloved narratives. Remember to show your support by hitting the like button and subscribing for a regular dose of insightful content. Let's delve into the realms of storytelling together. Back to the Deconstructed Universe. That's right, we're back. And I just finished episode 1 of season 3 of House of the Dragon, and already I've got like a headache from Alicent Hightower. Like, can we just pause and talk about this crazy woman? How she literally served up her son last season to Rhaenyra. I mean, I know Aemond is kind of a lost cause right now, but is she forgetting about like Daron, her cousins, like the Hightower people, like Ormond Hightower out there risking his life, like her family members? Like, are you forgetting like this is war? But anyway, whatever. Let's just like take it from the start. So we open up with Rhaena, and she's back in the Eyrie, and she's obviously trying to bond with Sheepstealer. And obviously, if you guys have read the books, this is a storyline for Nettles. Nettles is the one who bonds with Sheepstealer, and I know like a lot of people have been kind of on the fence about this, especially like with book readers, just that like I don't know, like Nettles bonding with Sheepstealer added like a lot of lore to dragon bonding and dragon riding as well. So like the bond between dragon rider and dragon was really explored in that relationship and that story arc. And obviously they took out Nettles. As far as we know, they've took out Nettles and they've given it to my girl Rhaena. And obviously it's not going so well. She's scared, like she's jittery, but she's determined, and she ends up mounting Sheepstealer and flies off. And obviously, like when I was watching this scene, I was just like, Daemon, this is a you problem because you did not prioritize your daughter. It's like, I don't know if Daemon is like actually like a good father. I just know that he kind of like prioritizes like people who like ride dragons, and I don't know where Rhaena was on the scale of like him parenting her and teaching her about dragon riding and dragon bonding, because it's because of her that things go wrong later on at the battle. Anyway, I don't want to get like too far ahead of myself. But anyway, we kick it off with like Rhaena, and she's out there in the Eyrie just trying to like claim Sheepstealer, and she claims Sheepstealer. She climbs onto Sheepstealer and they like fly away. Now, I wouldn't say claim, because I feel like when Sheepstealer and her like have their scenes, some of the stuff that happens before. Oh, can we just like pause? When Sheepstealer turned around and looked at Rhaena, I was like, girl, Sheepstealer's got a face only a mother could love. That dragon is ugly. But that's besides the point. So anyway, like Sheepstealer and Rhaena go through this like little dance, and obviously at the end of it, like we think like, oh, like she's claimed Sheepstealer, but I was like, Rhaena's all the way jittery. She got a bit confident, she was a bit scared, and then like things obviously later on go horribly wrong. Now from the Eyrie with Rhaena and Sheepstealer, we kick it off to Alicent Hightower, who has been like, oh, like I really tried to just be on like Alicent Hightower's side, because I felt like she had the short end of the stick. She basically was a tool for her father to use in politics. But Viserys never really loved or cared about. Maybe he loved her, but he didn't love her in a way that transcended into their relationship, into their home, into their children. He kind of never prioritized her or her children, and it was just kind of her giving and giving and giving, and then Viserys just being Viserys, who's just, ugh. Don't even get me started on Viserys. But anyway, we get into Alicent Hightower. But before we get into that, we see that Aemond finds out that Aegon has gone. Aegon is gone. And he pulls out this poor maester from bed and is like about to just 186 him, as in like off him. And the maester's like, listen, like, what have I at least done? Like, why are you dragging me from my bed? You haven't given me a trial. At least tell me why I'm being sentenced to death. Like, why are you trying to kill me right here in the middle of the hallway? And then one of the counselors comes up and is like, Aemond, Aegon is missing, and so is Lord Varys. And then Aemond is like, oh, okay. And it's like, I was really rooting for Aemond, and if you guys have literally like read the books, you know like the relationship between Aemond and Aegon is not like as animosity. No, I can't even talk. I'm so excited. It's not as like angsty. It's not as angsty as the one in the show. Aemond in the books basically does say that he'll be like a better king than Aegon, but apart from that, he really backed his brother. He backed the Green faction, and he really fought for his family. And that's just not translating right now. He's just gone full blown tyrant, and I don't like it. And even Helena later on in the episode is like, he's like afraid now. Like he forgot what it was like to be afraid when he claimed Vhagar, but now he remembers. And it's like, and like he had that scene with Alicent that like had me just holding my like temples, like. But seriously, all this roots from Alicent. Like if she had just been a good mother to her kids, despite of what Viserys was doing, despite what her father was doing, despite of the political climate, if she had just concentrated on being a mother to her kids, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be this damaged. But even Alicent in the books did a bit better than Alicent in the shows. Anyway, Alicent pulls up after Aemond finds out that Aegon is basically gone. He's missing along with Lara Strong. And he's like, where have you been? Like to Alicent, who walks in on Aemond like sitting on the Iron Throne and is like, I'm king now. Like Aegon has basically just thrown everything to the side and he's just like run off. And Alicent, you can see like she's afraid because she obviously was out here plotting and planning the demise of her own faction. And my whole thing is, Alicent, you've got Daeron out there, you've got your cousins out there, your Hightower blood people, and you're just out here just selling them out. And it's like, you guys, I just can't stand Alicent. I can't stand Alicent. And out of all this mess, I have to say, poor Helena, because she's truly well and innocent, okay? Helena on the green side is innocent, and then on the black side, they're just committing war crimes. I do feel bad for Rhaenyra, but at the same time, like, the decisions she made kind of just brought her to the situation. And also Corlys as well. The decisions he made brought him to the situation. And anyway, in the throne room, she's like, listen, nobody needs me here. I've been in the Kingswood. And Aemond is like, okay, well, Aegon is gone. And Alicent's like, you're supposed to be in Harrenhal because, you know, she set up her son to go to Harrenhal and get jumped by the dragon seeds. That's what she did. I can't believe she actually did that. Could you imagine your own mother, like, planning, like, a drive-by on you, using, like, your ops? Like, can you imagine? But instead of, like, using cars and stuff, they're using dragons to, like, drive by and, like, dragon fire you out of the sky, like, jump you, like, literally 3-on-1. She literally was like, I don't care about Aemond, which is whatever. But like at the end of the day, like Aemond was doing some weird stuff there for a minute with him and his mother. But we're gonna get into that. So after like the throne room thing, we see that Aegon and Larys are on the run. They're on the King's Road and they get stopped by Rhaenyra's men. They're like loyal to Rhaenyra. We see that Daemon is on the battlefield out here in his element, just winning. The Starks show up from the north at the end of that battle, and we see like young Lord Tully, he might be young, but he literally knows how to put his foot down, and Daemon has no option but to follow. And I love that for young Tully. And then we cut to Kristen Cole, who I don't even know what Rhaenyra ever saw in him. I don't know what Allison ever saw in him. I just think, like, Allison, why would you take Rhaenyra sloppy seconds? Because Kristen Cole is just, ugh. Can you imagine, like, Allison's brother tells him, like, listen, like, your men are acting up. They are out here committing war crimes on innocent women and children in the village, and I couldn't really say anything. Well, first of all, when Allison's brother said that, I was like, why didn't you stop him? Like, you were right there. And then he goes to Chris and is like, listen, like, I couldn't stop him because I'm not his, like, Lord Commander. Like, these men are not under my control. They're under your control. You need to publicly condemn what he did, and you also need to publicly, like, condemn that kind of atrocious behavior and say we are not like them. And here's Kristen all, like, wallowy, like, oh, like, have you looked around? Like, the world is burning, like, there's dragons, like, there are no more good men. He didn't really say exactly that, but, like, you get the gist of what I'm saying. He was just trying to basically say, like, listen, like, the world is burning, we're at war, and I'm, like, not really in the mood to just go and tell people not to do that. And I find it so ironic because Kristen wanted to be so high and mighty and be like, I'm a knight of the Seven Kingdoms, I am a Kingsguard, I go by the rules and the law of what a knight should be, because he got his white cloak all in a tizzy because Rhaenyra, apparently, you know, he didn't like the way Rhaenyra treated him after, like, you know, they had their little thing going on for a while there, and then she was like, listen, like, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm not running away. I'm the crown princess. Like, I'm going to get married and we can still have our thing going on here. He didn't want to be Harwin, okay? He didn't want to be Harwin, which is all right because I think Rhaenyra made bad decisions in that regard. Like, in general, her love life is a hot mess, but Harwin was a good one. Harwin and Laenor were good ones, okay? Harwin and Laenor were good ones. Daemon, I mean, Damon is what it is. But he got his white cloak all in a tizzy because Rhaenyra dumped him and he was like, oh, it's ruined my white cloak. Only for him to go turn around and do the same thing he was doing with Rhaenyra with Alicent. And now, when the same morals that he held to a standard and he turned against Rhaenyra for, and that he basically was all in a strop about, are brought up on the battlefield, a war. And, you know, here's Alicent's brother telling him, like, listen, we're not these kind of people, we're not these kind of men, we might be at war, but you need to condemn this kind of behavior. We are not, aka Daemon Targaryen, who's out here putting hits on children. We're not that. But he is basically like, look around the world is burning. And it's like, really, guy? Really, my guy, Kristen? We can't stand you either. I can't stand you either. The way I can't stand Alicent's Hightower. The way I can't stand Alicent Hightower. The way that I'm so disappointed how they've written Aemond. Because I was really rooting for you, Aemond. I was rooting for you. Your daddy wasn't, you know, anything special. He was like, ugh, your daddy. Your mother let you down, but she at least loved you. But she didn't prioritize her children. She didn't prioritize her children. She didn't prioritize her children, and the situation that they grew up in and everything just accumulated and basically turned him into all of this. And I'm just like, Aemond, I really like book Aemond more than I like this Aemond. But at the end of the day, that's the Aemond we've gotten. That's the Aemond we've gotten, okay? That's the Aemond we've gotten. So we go back to King's Landing, and basically Alicent is like, listen, I've written this letter, it's from the king, send it to my cousin Ormond. And I was like, what is she doing? And even Helena was like, what do you mean from the king? Like, first of all, like, Aegon is gone. Aemond is king right now, and he's not doing what, you know, you want him to do. But, you know, she sends a writer to Ormond. And while she's sending this writer to Ormond, we see that basically On Dragonstone, Rhaenyra is very much happy that, Alicent came and talked to her. Aemon is going to be flying to the he's going to be flying away from King's Landing, and she's going to get a chance to take King's Landing. She's like, send a letter to Corlys, send a letter to Daemon, like, we're going to take King's Landing. And Jace is like, listen, you shouldn't trust Alicent Hightower. And I have to agree with Jace. You shouldn't trust Alicent Hightower, especially if you were Alicent Hightower's child. I will never, ever, 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 ever stop telling you people that Alicent Hightower is a terrible mother. I can't stand Alicent Hightower. And that's crazy because I was really trying to root for Alicent Hightower because I was like, listen, she was in a bad situation. She was in like a bad situation. She was used as a pawn. She was married to Viserys. Who would want to be married to rotting Viserys? Come on. And then live in the shadow of Aemma, Aaron. And then her kids be second to Rhaenyra Targaryen and her illegitimate children. Obviously, in the books, this all was very ambiguous. Nobody really knew that Rhaenyra Targaryen's children weren't Laenor's because it was very ambiguous. First of all, Rhaenys had black hair because she was obviously, her mother's a Baratheon. So nobody ever really knew. It was like rumored. It was rumored. It's very ambiguous. And the relationships in the books are very different from the relationships in the shows, but a lot of it is mirrored. Anyway, so Rhaenyra is all happy. Jace is like, no. So just like, no, we cannot do this. And then we cut to Harrenhal, where the Dragon Seeds are camping out, waiting to jump Aemond. And he's not coming. He was supposed to be there like 2 days gone. And he's not there because he's in King's Landing. Because he's like, I need to hold King's Landing because Aegon is a coward that ran away with Larys Strong. And it's like, Rhaenyra is very much, I know why, like, you guys love Rhaenyra, and I love Rhaenyra too. I just can't stand the decision making that she does sometimes, especially regards to her kid's situation. But obviously, like, in the books it's very ambiguous, but in the TV show it's made very explicit. And I'm just saying, like, she could have made her position a lot more stronger had she really, like, just, I don't know. This all goes back to Viserys. He could have made this a whole 10 times more easier for his family, but no. He died, and then everything else in the family just kind of just hit the fan when he died. Anyway, so Rhaenyra's like all happy. She's like, yeah, like, we're gonna take King's Landing, blah, 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 blah. And then Jace comes up. Oh, wait, it's Baela. Baela comes up and she's like, listen, there's an armada heading to the gullet. It's gonna break Corlys Velaryon's blockade. Like, what do we do? And Rhaenyra's like, I'm going to go mount Syrax, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna, like, go into battle and help out Corlys. Like, I'm gonna go. And Jace is like, you can't go. Like, you're the queen, you cannot go. And it's like, she's like, I'm the queen, I have to go. And Jace is like, what if you get hurt? Like, what if something happens to you? And Rhaenyra's like, listen, then you'll be king. And I was like, ugh, Rhaenyra, I get, like, she wants to fight. I get she wants to be a queen in her own right. I get that she wants to have that authority for the men on the council, because, like, people don't take her seriously because, first of all, she's a woman. And she's a woman in a feudal system where women were essentially just breeders and political bargains for their fathers and their house. So she's fighting against this misogyny, and at the same time as fighting against this misogyny, she's trying to make herself and fashion herself into, like, a leader, somebody who can lead during, like, war times and just be pragmatic and strategic with the moves that she's making. But everybody around her on her council doesn't take her seriously. So Jace basically tells her Queensguard, listen, you need to lock my mom up in here and don't let her out. And basically the Queensguard does that. The Queensguard's like, listen, I can't do that. And Jace is like, listen, you took an oath to protect the queen. You need to do it, because if you don't do this, you're not protecting her. And the Queensguard does it. And then Rhaenyra finds out that, oh no, my son has ran off. She's like, I expected this from the council. I expected this from the men of the realm. I expected this even from Damon. She didn't say that. She expected this from like all the men around her, okay? She never expected it from her son and her queen's guard. So she feels very much just trapped. She's a queen. There's wars being fought for her claim, for her lineage, and she's out here being locked in her room, like she's being put in timeout, basically. And she's just very much distraught and destroyed about that. And I'm like, Rhaenyra, this all goes back to your no good daddy. Because if your daddy really wanted you to succeed, he would have made you his hand, okay? He would have made you his hand. I would even go further to say, if your daddy wanted you to succeed, he wouldn't have gotten married. He wouldn't have gotten remarried. He would have ensured that you married, secured your line, and essentially, rose to the Iron Throne after his death. But he didn't do that. He didn't do that because he was selfish. Because he, like any other man, wanted to secure his lineage. He wanted to secure his lineage. He wanted to make sure there was many dragon riders of his bloodline left behind. He wanted to make sure and show the realm that he had and he could have sons. He wanted to be with Alicent Hightower because I guess that's what he wanted. I mean, Alicent is not a bad looking woman, but she is annoying to the fullest extent of being annoying. I cannot stand her. And this comes from somebody who really was rooting for Alicent Hightower. I was really rooting for Alicent Hightower. Please go check out my video analysis I did about Alicent Hightower being a terrible mother. Yeah, check that out. And then, comment, like, subscribe. Please follow me as we embark on season 3, because season 3 episode 1 has given me a headache and it's just insane. So anyway, Rhaenyra is all distraught. Jace hops on his dragon, Baela hops on her dragon, and they go out to, basically go to this battle. And I was like, oof. Now, in the books, it happened differently because, in the books, it happened differently because, I think he was, trying to, in the books, it happened the same way, but, I think, his younger brother was there, if that makes sense. But anyway, his younger brother was there. Sorry, I've forgotten, a lot of stuff that happened in the books, and a lot of book people get, really annoyed at me when, I start talking about the books, and they're like, you didn't read the books, and I'm like, I read the books. If I'm not, articulating everything, the way you want it to be articulated, listen, everybody reads books differently, and, basically, don't come for me, because listen, maybe I'm not explaining it the way that you want it to be explained in great detail, but I'm literally trying, and I've read the book, so just don't come for me in the comment section and be like, no, you didn't read the books. I read the books, okay? I read the books. Can you guys just chill? I read the books, and I'm trying to create a duality where I can, but at the same time, I'm just trying to go by show at this point, but I'll bring in the books when it's relevant. Anyway, so in the books, I think Jace flew really low because he was obviously trying to save his brother. He was trying to save his brother, but obviously that didn't happen. So I was just like, how's this gonna happen? Because the younger Targaryens are not here. But so the battle happens, and then we've got one of the twins, the Lannister twins. By the way, I actually stand these Lannister twins. R.I.P. to the Lannister twin that died. I'll get back to you on his name because I just can't recall it at this moment. And if I try to recall it at this time, we're gonna be here forever. So anyway, the Lannister twin is listen. To the Trarch, he's listen, we're heading to King's Landing. We need to break this blockade. And the lady's listen, I only signed up for this because I want to go raid High Tide. And obviously that happened in the books. So he was she was like, I want to go raid High Tide, and I'm after Corlys Velaryon at this point in time. He has been a pain in my thorn in my side for a long, long time. He's been killing my comrades. I'm coming for him, and I only signed up for this little escapade to basically get back at Corlys and basically run High Tide for all its antiques. So anyway, the battle takes off, and it's just amazing. I have to say the cinematography is really great. The battle scenes were really great. The sequences were really great. And then Jace dies, which is crazy. Um, he was really a good kid. He was really a good kid. Jace dies. Bela saves him the first time around, and then, you know, when he gets like harpooned, when his dragon gets harpooned, Bela like comes in and saves him. And then here comes Rhaena. Here comes Rhaena. Now, I don't know what Damon's been doing, but he's obviously been lacking when it comes to teaching his daughter about dragon riding. This girl thought that she's gonna mount this new dragon. She was already a bit jittery when she was trying to claim that dragon. And then she's gonna fly straight into a battle with her newly claimed dragon. I was like, really? So obviously it went left. It went left. Rhaena's dragon came after Moon Dancer. Jace was out here trying to like dodge, I don't even know what to call it. He was trying to dodge like artillery and trying to save Moon Dancer from her own sister, Sheep Stealer. He was trying to like, he was trying to like micromanage like, and then here's Bela. She's trying to like help in the battle, and she's at the same time like trying to like get away from Rhaena and Sheep Stealer, and then Jace is trying to like help in battle and protect Moon Dancer and like protect Moon Dancer, protect Moon Dancer and protect Bela. So like, and then here is Rhaena like, oh, stop, Moon Dancer, that's my sister. And it's like, lady girl, Rhaena, your daddy really failed you. Your daddy really failed you. You and Aemond are really like two sides of the same coin, because you both have like daddy and mommy issues, because you have dragon issues. Like, they have a dragon complex. These Targaryens have a complex with not being able to ride dragons. Anyway, so yeah, Jace is, all this stuff is happening at the same time, and this battle is raging. Corlys goes around the corner and sees the high tide burning, and then it just kind of like finally hits him, and I'm like, ugh, Corlys, I can't stand you either. I can't stand anybody in this thing, but I do stand Jace. He did not deserve that, okay? Jace would have been a good king. Jace would have been a good king, even though I have qualms with Jace, but it's not really his fault. It's his mom's fault, and it's Viserys' fault. All this stuff goes back to Viserys. So yeah, Jace gets shot down, and then he surfaces from the water, and then he gets a bunch of arrows in him, and that's the end of him. And I was like, oh, that was sad. That was really sad. Even though I knew it was coming, it was just kind of like sad to see, because he was a really good kid. He was a really good kid. He would have been a good king. He would have been a good king. And then like, I just know like Rhaenyra is going to be destroyed. She's going to be destroyed, because first of all, like, he did it to protect her, and then like this happens, and then Corlys almost lost his life. You know, Corlys and his, you know, illegitimate child out there fighting for their lives, almost lost his life. High tide is burning. And then the letter that Alicent sent to Ormond reaches him, and Ormond is a bit of like a germaphobe. Like, this guy comes and he's just like, ugh. He's just so disgusted by the state of this rider who's been riding for days. Anyway, the letter Alicent wrote to Ormond was basically like, stay put, because I made plans and they're falling apart. But obviously she didn't put that in the letter, but obviously we know that she made plans to get Aemon jumped at Harrenhal and to take King's Landing, for the Blacks to take King's Landing. So things are not working out the way that she thought they were going to work out. So she tells Ormond, stay put where you are. So Ormond is like, we're going to stay put. And then that's the end of the episode. And I have to say, it was a great episode. I love the cinematography. The storytelling was great. Being back is kind of like surreal, because it's been like a long time. The dragons, I love seeing the dragons. And yeah, at this point in time, everybody's just kind of annoying me, but I do feel for Rhaenyra, because that's gotta like really, really like suck. For you to be like queen in name, for like literal war to be happening, and it's like nobody takes your power nobody takes your power properly. Like, nobody takes you seriously. Like, even her own claim could only be bolstered when she married Daemon. And this all goes back to Viserys Targaryen. Viserys, no good Targaryen, because he didn't prepare his daughter to rule. She should have been handed the king, like, instead of him, like, finding Otto Hightower again after Lionel died, it should have been Rhaenyra Targaryen. He should have abdicated sooner. Like, there's so many things Viserys could have done that could have avoided all of this mess, but he didn't, because he just chose to bury his head in the sand and literally, like, just ignore everything. That now his daughter doesn't even have the command to command her own queen's guard. And that's scary. Like, if you're a ruler and you can't even trust your own bodyguards to follow your orders, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's insane. And I think this comes to something that Rhaenyra should, like, soft power versus hard power. Rhaenyra has she has soft power, which is the use of, like, attraction and persuasion. So it's like culture, political values, diplomacy. Like, she has all the lords in the realm bent the knee to her and her claim. So she has a claim. But also Aegon has a claim as well. But whereas, Aegon, I mean, they both have, like, a standing on, like, a good leg, but Rhaenyra's power is more soft, whereas the Green's power is more hard power, with Aemond at the helm. I forgot to mention Aemond in that weird scene with his mother. Could you imagine Alicent started, like, manipulating Aemond and is like, you should have been king, I didn't raise Aegon properly, blah 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 blah, and then he kisses his mother on the mouth. I was like, oh, I mean, you're not, like, 3 years old anymore. You're not, like, a kid anymore. You're, like, a grown dragon riding man, and, like, you're doing this crazy stuff. Even Alicent was a bit taken aback. I was taken aback. I was like, oh, are we really doing this? First of all, we've got Daemon marrying, like, 2 of his nieces. And then we've got, these Targaryens and their, like, infatuation with making the family tree a circle is insane, and I don't stand for it. Okay, I don't stand for it, but we're here for the dragon riders. Yeah, that was weird, and I'm just saying, like, I was really rooting for Aemond. I really want to root for Aemond, but he's clearly in the throes of Targaryen madness at this point. He's in the throes of Targaryen madness, and now with Jace gone, I'm pretty sure that Rhaenyra is going to take, like, a more hard stance on, like, the political moves that she's making, and she's going to go from soft power to hard power. So yeah, anyway, leave in the comment section what you thought about the season premiere, and then I will catch you in the next one. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. I give this episode like a solid, like, B. It was a good episode. It was a good, strong episode, and I'll catch you in the next one. Welcome to the end of the video, and thank you very much for making it to the end. Make sure you check out Vertigo Honor Bound by Blood, the first installment in the Vertigo book series. It is set in 2095 at the heart of the Imperial Champion regime, where Emperor Gregory Champion rules over Earth and the colonies stretching out across the solar system, where there is a virus called the Megavirus that has mutated and changed the political landscape of Earth. This is a story about factions, about coming of age, about the importance of being firm in what you believe in a world where bloodlines matter. What faction are you?